Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. MTG Box Analysis here to take a look at our second collector booster box of the special edition Lord of the Rings. Now I opened up a box before the holidays. Comes from a different case. The numbers look very similar, but they're from two different cases. So I'm hoping this box will be better than the first one. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open and see what kind of value we can find. Stepping into pack number one. This one's going to go ahead and kick off with the Troll of Khazad-dum. Then we're going to see ourselves an Ent's Fury, followed by Saruman the White. Then we've got ourselves Gimli Counter of Kills with a Cast into the Fire, followed by a Bewitching Leechcraft with an Elrond Lord of Rivendell. Then we get Prince Imrahil the Fair, followed by a Surgefoil Forest. And then we're going to see ourselves Eomer, Marshal of Rohan, coming in with a Songs of Eärendil. And then behind that, we're going to see a Rally at the Galadriel, followed by Shagret the Loot Bearer. Then we've got ourselves a Bag End coming in the Surgefoil treatment, followed by an Explore in foil with a Food and a Ballistic Boulder. All right, sliding into pack number two here. This one is going to kick off with a Shire Terrace. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves Shalab's Ambush with a Ring Sight. Then we've got ourselves a Gollum Patient Plotter with an Eastmark Cavalier, Shalab's Ambush. Then we're going to see ourselves a Reprieve coming in a foil with a Saruman the White, followed by a Mountain. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Rapacious Guest coming in from the Commander set with a Motivated Pony. Then we've got ourselves Gimli's Reckless Might with the Watcher in the Water, Mythic coming in the Surgefoil treatment with an Elrond Lord of Rivendell. And behind that, we are going to see ourselves a Timber Protector coming in. Then we've got ourselves a Food and an Orc Army. All right, pack number three. All right, we got our Dreadful as the Storm, followed by Mordor Trebuchet. Then we're going to see a Quick Beam Upstart Ent, followed by a Fiery Inscription with a Sam's Desperate Rescue, followed by an Olag High Crusher. Then we got Ground the Gatebreaker. Then we got Ekenbrand Lord of Westfold, followed by a Full Art Plains. Then we're going to see Denethor Stoneseer with Horn of Gondor, followed by, sticking together here, Sorceress Squall. Then we're going to see Sharky, Tyrant of the Shire, followed by Isengard Unleashed coming in the Surgefoil with an Elvish Harbinger in the back. And then we're going to see ourselves a Food and a Human Soldier token. All right, sliding into pack number four here. There we go, if I can get it open. This one kicks off with an Elven Farsight. Then we're going to see ourselves a Banish from Adoras with Eorin, Lady of Rohan. And then we're going to see Tale of Tuniville, followed by the Eastmark Cavalier, Deceive the Messenger. Then we're going to see Frodo Baggins, followed by Bilbo Retired Burglar. And then we're going to see ourselves the Swamp with Gloin Dwarf Emissary. And then we're going to see ourselves a Sail into the West, followed by an Isengard Unleashed. Then we're going to see ourselves an Elven Chorus coming in, followed by Gollum Patient Plotter. And then we're going to see ourselves a Pact of Negation coming in foil. Very nice hit. Then we get ourselves a Food and a Treasure. All right, moving into pack number five. All right, we got the Gimli's Axe, followed by Claim the Precious. Then we get Eomer of Riddlemark, followed by Gorbag of Minas Morgul with a Mirkwood Spider. And then we're going to see her an Easterling Vanguard with a Bitter Downfall, followed by a Bill the Pony. Then we're going to see the island. And right behind that, we're going to see one ring to rule them all, followed by a model of unity with a warg rider coming in. Then we're going to see ourselves a mithril coat coming in with a Gimli mournful avenger coming in. And behind that, we're going to see ourselves a soul's attendant, followed by a food and a smog token. All right, pack number 6, halfway through the box here. This one's going to start off with the Oliphant, followed by an Ithilithan Kingfisher. Then we're going to see a shortcut to mushrooms with a Butterbur Bree Innkeeper. Then we got Eagles of the North with a Wizard's Rockets, a Barrow Blade, followed by a Golem's Bite. Then we get ourselves a Plains with Monstrosity of the Lake, followed by Saruman the White Hand. Then we're going to see ourselves Mordor on the March with Horn of the Mark coming in Surge Foil, with a Gandalf the White also coming in Surge Foil. And then we're going to see ourselves a Soul's Attendant in the back, followed by a food and a human soldier token. Rolling into pack number 7. Second half of the box. Still no posters yet in this particular box. Maybe we'll see a poster card in this pack. All right, so this one's going to start off with a Woes Pathfinder, followed by a Nimble Hobbit. Then we're going to see ourselves a Samwise the South-Hearted. Then we've got ourselves a Ranger's Firebrand with a Pelegrir Survivor. Then we get Knights of Dol Amroth, followed by Horses of Brunuin. Then we're going to see Lost to Legend, followed by a Plains. Then we're going to see Legolas Greenleaf with a Planeteer of Orthanc. And behind that, we're going to see a Fell Beast Shriek with The Ring Goes South. And then we're going to see a Meriadoc Brandybuck, followed by Palantir of Orthanc coming in as a non-foil poster card. Very cool. And then in the back, we're going to see ourselves a food and a treasure token. All right, pack number 8. This one starts off with a Mirror Guardian, and then behind that we're going to see ourselves the Black Breath with Council's Deliberation, followed by a Bitter Downfall. Then we get a Many Partings with a Nimble Hobbit. Then we're going to see ourselves a Peregrine Took, followed by Menelor Swift Savior with an island. Then we're going to see a Barad Dur coming in from the land cycle, followed by a Minas Tirith, also a land. And then behind that, we're going to see Ramas Ekor Ancient Shield coming in as an artifact from the Commander subset, with a Press the Enemy coming in the Surge Foil, with a Gandalf Friend of the Shire. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Diabolic Intent coming in foil. Very cool. And then we're going to see ourselves a food and a human soldier token. All right, moving into pack number 9. This one's going to kick off with the Hadrium Spearmaster, followed by Stalwarts of Osgiliath. Then we're going to see the Mouth of Sauron with Bilbo Retired Burglar. Then we're going to see Gimli's Fury with a Dundane Creebane, followed by a Goblin Fire Leaper with Gorbag of Minas Morgul. And then we're going to see the Swamp. And behind that, we're going to see Aragorn, King of Gondor, coming in, Mythic from the Commander subset, followed by Frodo, Sauron's Bane, with an Arboreal Alliance. And then we're going to see ourselves the Battle of Bywater coming in the Surge Foil, followed by Boromir, Warden of the Tower. And our last card is going to be a Myriad Landscape Uncommon Foil with a food and a human soldier token. Pack number 10. Just one poster card so far in this box. Maybe we'll get to see another one. Maybe it'll be in foil. All right, so we got a Deceive the Messenger with a Swarming of Moria, followed by a Book of Mozerbol, and then we're going to see ourselves Bill the Pony with Troll of Khazad-dum with Deceive the Messenger. Then we're going to see Enterdrot Basin with a Shadow Summoning and a Mountain. Behind that, we're going to see Sail into the West, followed by an Archivist of Gondor. Then we've got Aragorn Hornburg Hero coming in as a mythic from the Commander subset with Call of the Ring and Surge with the Samwise the South-Hearted. And we're going to see Sauron coming in the poster, non-foil treatment, but still very cool. And then we're going to see ourselves food and a spirit token. All right, 2 packs to go. So stepping into pack number 11 of this box. All right, this one kicks off with an errant rider of Gondor with Lorien revealed. Then we're going to see March from the Black Gate, followed by Frodo Baggins with a Great Hall of the Citadel, and then a Bag End Porter with a Shadowfax Lord of Horses with an Ioreth of Healing House, and then we're going to see the island. And our first rare is going to be There and Back Again, followed by Horn of the Mark, and then we're going to see ourselves Anduril Narcel Reforged coming in. Then we're going to see King of the Oathbreakers in Surge with a Galadriel Brigand also in Surge. And our final card is going to be a Myriad Landscape non-foil with a food and an orc army. All right, final collector booster pack of the box, pack number 12. All right, this one kicks off with a Captain of Umbar, followed by the Torment of Gollum. Then we're going to see an Entis Restoration, followed by Gift of Strands. Then we got Knights of Dol Amroth, followed by Troll of Khazad-dum, Dúnedain Rangers. Then we're going to see Faramir Field Commander with a Forest. And our first rare is going to be Shalab Dreadweaver coming in. Then we're going to see Rangers of Ithilothin, followed by Riders of the Mark. And then we're going to see ourselves Isildur's Faithful Strike coming in Surge with Frodo Baggins in Surge. And we're going to end it off with a Mount Doom coming in foil. Very nice to see that. Non-serialized, but still a foil poster card. Then we get a food and a tentacle in the back. Let's kick things off by examining the box's contents in comparison to the cards that we had an opportunity to obtain. Using this chart, we can see the cards we could potentially acquire from the main Lord of the Rings set marked in gray, the actual foils we pulled in orange, and the non-foils in green. In the non-foil space, we saw between 7 and 12 showcase scroll cards for each of the colors of Magic, along with 2 Jumpstart Extended Art cards and 2 borderless poster cards. When it comes to the foils, we saw between 5 and 12 cards for each of the colors of Magic, along with 12 extended art cards and 9 showcase in Surge foil. Finally, we saw 1 foil borderless poster card in the box. Moving into coverage of the main set, in the non-foil space, we saw 57 unique cards from the 294 cards we were eligible to see. This gave us 19% coverage of the set. In the foil space, we saw 82 unique cards, giving us 22% coverage of the 372 cards we were eligible to see, not including any serialized cards. Pivoting the coverage by rarity, in today's box we saw 24% of the commons and 27% of the uncommons that we were eligible to see in non-foil. We also saw 7 of the 65 main set rares for 11% coverage and 2 non-foil mythics for 5% coverage. In the foil space, we saw 20% of the commons and 31% of the uncommons, along with 18 foil rares for 17% coverage and 4 foil mythics for 7% coverage. From a duplication standpoint, the only repeats that we saw was from the main set. We ended up seeing 6 cards repeated 12 times for a box duplication rate of 7%. Before getting into the value of today's collector booster box, let's take a look at the current value of the main set. This chart displays all of the cards from the main set that you can pull out of a special edition collector booster pack using market prices as of December 15th, 2023. Currently, there are 60 non-serialized cards valued over $10 available in the set. 26 are in non-foil and 34 are in foil. The set also features 22 cards valued between $5 and $10 and 88 cards valued between $1 and $5. The other 496 cards that you can pull are all valued under $1. A full set of all 666 cards, again not using any serialized cards, has a current market value of $2,374.25. Out of the 60 possible cards, we saw 4 cards from the main set valued over $10, including the Foil Showcase Palantir of Orthonc, valued at $11.95, the non-foil poster version of Palantir, valued at $20.14, the foil poster Mount Doom, valued at $53.86, and the non-foil poster Sauron the Dark Lord, valued at $67.16. The box also contained 5 main set cards valued between $5 and $10, and 9 cards valued between $1 and $5. The other 127 main set cards that we saw are all valued under $1. Now let's pivot away from the main set and take a look at the Commander subset. Here's a look at the cards that we could potentially acquire from the Commander subset marked in gray, the actual foils we pulled in orange, and the non-foils shaded in green. In the non-foil space, we saw 7 showcase scroll cards and 14 borderless cards. And when it comes to the foils, we saw 6 showcase scrolls, 5 borderless, and 3 borderless in Surge foil. From a coverage perspective, we saw 21 unique non-foil cards out of a possible 124, giving us 17% coverage. In the foil space, we saw 14 unique cards, giving us 8% coverage of the 178 cards we were eligible to see, again not including any serialized cards. And just like before, let's look at the current value of the Commander subset for the cards that you can pull out of a special edition collector booster pack before reviewing the actual observed value. The Commander subset contains an additional 39 cards valued over $10, bringing the total number of cards valued over $10 to 99 for this set, which is pretty damn impressive for a modern Magic set. Now, the Commander subset also features 32 cards valued between $5 and $10 and 88 cards in the $1 to $5 range. The other 143 cards that you can pull are all valued under $1. Now, a full set of all 302 cards, again not including any serialized cards, has a current market value of $1,595.96. Add in the $2,374 from the main set and the 968 card set, including every single card in every single treatment except serialized, has a current market value of almost $4,000. Out of the possible 39 cards valued over $10, we saw 2 in this box. We picked up the foil Pact of Negation valued at $19.23 and the foil Diabolic Intent valued at $27.43. The box also contained 2 Commander cards valued between $5 and $10 and 8 cards valued between $1 and $5. The other 23 cards from the subset are all currently valued under $1. So how did this box perform? Well, the market price for this box as of December 15th is $281.73. The special edition collector box of Lord of the Rings contains 12 packs, each with 15 cards, allowing you to see 180 cards in the box. In today's box, the 57 non-foil main set cards that we saw have a combined value of $111.77. The 88 main set foils are valued at $121.93. The 21 non-foils from the Commander subset are valued at $24.15 combined, and the 14 foils from the Commander subset are valued at $67.89. Add it all up, and the grand total for this box comes up to be $325.74 in card market value, which is a gain of $44.01 over the market price, and means that it produced 116% of the market price in card value. Now, for those of you interested in cards valued just over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 21 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a current combined value of $268.55, which means that those 21 cards represent 82% of the total box value and 95% of the market price. Before we close out the video, let's compare the 3 collector booster boxes opened thus far on the channel. Here's a recap of what we've seen across the boxes. For the most part, the boxes have been relatively consistent. However, there are variances in the number of cards across the main set and the Commander subsets. So far, no 2 boxes have contained the same number of borderless poster cards. I've seen anywhere from 1 to 3 now. Now, from a value perspective, here's how the 3 boxes look using market prices as of December 15th, 2023. Today's box held the most value for the main set in both the foil and non-foil categories. However, today's box was the worst for the Commander subset. Box 1 had the most value at $53.98 for the non-foils, and Box 2 had the most for $121.04 for the foils. So far, only today's box has breached the current market value of $281.73, but it was not enough to make the 3 boxes a win.
While there's almost $4,000 in potential value out there for the set, it's really hard to lock it in, even with multiple boxes. However, if you are lucky enough to find one of the 5,000 serialized cards in circulation, then you've won the booster box game. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone has a happy and safe new year, and until 2024, do something amazing. Get early access to videos, download the analysis for every box open on the channel, and personally DM me, just like these fine people, all by becoming a member of the channel through YouTube or over at mtgboxanalysis.com. You'll find links in the description. Until next time, do something amazing.